So I immediately thought, well, why wouldn't I ask my favorite songwriter of the day to write with me? And you were so gracious, but you were like, yeah, no,
right,
I'm good.
Yeah,
no, I'm kind of like working on some other thing.
I'm kind of busy.
And I remember, like,
honestly, I'm a fan, but
yeah,
I'm a little.
But
all those things I said
to you.
I don't want
to write with you.
I don't want to write with you.
Not you.
I want you to really like what I write. That's how this is going to work.
Good evening, my friends. Cheers to you. I am coming to you from Sydney, Australia. And before I say anything else, let me assure you, I don't know if you're watching this or just listening to it, but if you're watching this, this is not a hostage video. I know it looks like a hostage video right now, but I assure you that every word I'm saying is of my own free will. Cheers. I'm down here in Sydney, Australia, in the middle of summer, filming The Voice. This is my second season as a coach on The Voice down here. I love it here so much. I'm such a lucky man. I love my fellow coaches, Kate Miller-Heidke, who is a superstar down here and is so awesome. Mel C from the Spice Girls, who is equally awesome and so much fun to be around. And my brother from another mother, Ronan Keating. We're having a blast. Today was day one of what we call the blind auditions, and we saw 24 singers in one day, several of whom were pretty fantastic. Australia just has this wealth of singing talent, historically. It's amazing. But I love being here. We live in Sydney for a couple of months at a time when I'm filming the show. I'm missing Daisy Fuentes like you can't believe. Because she's Daisy Fuentes, she has other responsibilities back home and couldn't come here with me this time on arrival, but she'll be here in a couple of weeks, and I miss her terribly. I've become very codependent. Daisy Fuentes is the kind of person you just want to hang out with all the time, and I don't like being away from her, but I'm gonna man up and get through this couple of weeks without her somehow. That's not why we're here, though. I just wanted to catch you up on the latest in my of the stuff that's been on my plate, but I'm loving doing The Voice down here. I love being in Australia. But the reason we're here is because this week's episode of Stories to Tell is very special, because my guest is not just one of my closest friends of my whole life, but really, truly like a brother, like the little brother that I never had. And his name is Matt Scannell. And any of you who know me or know about me, I've toured with Matt, I've written so many songs with Matt, but I'm such a fan of Matt's and his band, Vertical Horizon. We've been close friends for over 20 years now. I knew that this was going to be a special episode because the conversations that I have with Matt organically, just as best friends, are always compelling and interesting. So I was curious to see if an episode of Stories to Tell with Matt would be a sort of like a replication of that kind of thing, or would we delve deeper? What would it be like? And it's all the things. We really talk about life and music and our relationship, and we kind of get into the nitty-gritty of a lot of stuff. I've loved Matt Scannell, like I said, for over 20 years. If you're unfamiliar with Matt Scannell, you're about to fall in love with him too, because you can't help it. I just adore him. I think we had a fascinating conversation because Matt is not just supremely talented and smart and funny, but he's interested as well as interesting. So I hope you guys like this episode of Stories to Tell with my dear friend, Mr. Matt Scannell.
Matt Scannell. Let's get this over with.
Yes.
God.
Let's get it over with. Wow. Look at this thing.
French martini for you, buddy.
Oh, that's delightful.
Cheers. Yeah, I made it just for you. Isn't that good? And it's early in the day. And normally I would make you have a proper French martini, which
Right.
is vodka, pineapple juice, and Chambord.
I don't even know what Chambord is.
Chambord, I can show you the bottle. It's a beautiful bottle. It's a
Okay.
blackberry liqueur.
Okay. I like blackberries.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I have no problem confessing this to you because it's you.
Right.
Because you get me.
I get you.
So when I make these, especially earlier in the day, I thought, we're not going to do the vodka.
Right.
Because then we're fucked for the day. Not in a good way.
In a good way.
So I discovered this. I just experimented. I made the pineapple and I'll get to that in a second, the blackberry flavor.
Right.
Poured a little non-alcoholic champagne in that bad boy, and isn't it delicious?
It's
effervescent.
It's properly good.
It's not too sweet. And here's why it's not too sweet, because Chambord has a very high sugar content, and you know how we feel about sugar.
Not the best.
So I found a monk fruit blackberry syrup. That's what's in that.
Wow.
So we get to have the pleasure and the joy, but without the fear of death or guilt.
I can hop in my car.
You can have 10 of these.
I can have 10 of those. I may have 10 of these.
You pee yourself in the car, but that's it.
Can I mention the
delicious.
glass?
Sure.
Can we?
I chose that myself for you too.
Because is this a martini glass? What kind of glass is this?
That's a good question. It can be champagne. We have martinis in these.
I feel like we should have everything in these glasses.
I'm a sucker for beautiful barware, man.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I drink.
Beautiful barware.
It's not even the buzz or the
Right.
alcohol. It's
No,
like,
it's-
I just love, I don't want to have a Diet Coke in that.
I do.
I know you do.
I mean, I've become a non-soda person, but I want to have my soda in this.
Right.
I want to have my water in this.
I know your go-to is water.
Water.
You water all day long.
I love water.
You're going to have pee breaks, I know, during this taping. But what else do you drink? You drink a cold brew? You love a cold brew?
I love a cold brew. I love a cold brew.
Did I get you into cold brew, or were you always a cold brew?
I give you credit for most things. So, yes.
I feel like when I was like really developing my coffee
I believe that.
Jones and my coffee whole like craziness, you were right on board with me.
You don't tend to half-ass things.
Thank you.
So like when you were going down
Thank
the coffee wormhole, it's a wormhole or a rabbit hole for the coffee?
Rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole, I think.
When do we use worms then?
Wormhole.
Why is there...
When is it a rabbit hole and when is it a wormhole?
I feel like...
Anyone?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
It's a great question. It is. I knew it was a great question.
I think when it comes to coffee, it's a wormy rabbit hole I went down.
You did. But now I will say that a cold brew gets the mad thumbs up from me, but mostly I'm a water guy.
I feel like we should tell our viewers and listeners that we are we're not just friends.
No.
Right?
Far from it.
We're not friends. We are not friends.
No.
I mean, I am lucky, and I think you're lucky that I have some really good friends in my life.
Yeah.
People I really consider friends. But then there's you.
And I feel the same.
So when we get together, which isn't often enough.
No.
In fact, I'm always saying to you, I run into people I can't stand all the time.
Yes.
And I never see you.
That's true for me too. I see people that I won't use the word hate because it is a strong word, that one.
Not hate. But you're like,
I don't love them.
Right, or there's no level of like, hello.
No, there's none of that.
It's just, oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, it's like the old Seinfeld, oh, hello, Newman.
Yes.
It's like that.
Pretty much everyone's a Newman.
Pretty much. And I run into those people on the regular.
I saw one right outside your house looking in your windows.
But we don't see each other that much.
No.
Because, you know,
whatever.
We're assholes. But when we do get together, in the last couple of years, it's primarily over a cold brew.
That's right. That's right.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I just feel like it's become our tradition.
We're daytime friends. We don't go to dinner, really. We used to. See?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're getting into it now.
Yeah.
Back in the first decade of our friendship, we were more dinner.
Well,
like, let's go to dinner.
I feel like for me, everything's pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
let's talk about that because you have a very particular experience with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of over most things now.
Yeah.
No, but we used to, back in the pre-COVID times, we would go out to dinners and stuff. And now there's less, like, at the end of the day, getting in a car, driving somewhere, leaving my car with somebody who may or may not do something mean to my car.
You are a walking Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. You are the young Larry David. Do you hear yourself?
Well, you know, we share a hairline. That's about it.
But, well, no, apparently you share more than just that.
No, occasionally, but like, I don't know. I think I want this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to like go to some fancy pants restaurant, and I'm happy to have my mind changed.
Yeah.
But since COVID, I have to admit, I have become less social.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with that or proud of that. And yet at the same time, a lot of the like ways in which I've kind of tightened up my world or my circle suits me. I do like it.
I mean, you're not shut-in.
No. But very, like, I'm shut-in adjacent.
You're shut-in adjacent.
No, I don't know, man. Honestly.
And it's not like agoraphobia or any of that stuff, right?
No, because
you're out on tour all the time. And
I think part of it is I don't have the joy of those, like, the wonder of those experiences. Like, let's go out to a place and have a donut that's been infused with cucumber air. Like, at some fancy pants, I don't. But
this is what's so bizarre, because I also know you very well. Like, you're a foodie.
I love some food,
and maybe this is a pre-COVID thing too. But I remember a couple of times you were like, "Dude, I went to this restaurant for dinner, and we're going because you need." And it was tricky for me because I'm very, like, I was some version of vegan or vegetarian, and then that's a bummer. But no. They have, really good plant-based options, and there's stuff but you have to, the experience of this restaurant.
Yeah.
And you would tell me, whether it was someplace we went or not, you would regale me with stories of these dinners.
I'm a regaler.
Has that changed since
Yes,
COVID
I'm
too?
over it.
Really? You don't care about going out for the fine dining?
Not so much.
Oh.
Do
you miss it? No,
not at all.
Interesting. Because I'm all about, like, I love going out to dinner.
Well, that's good.
And I'm married to someone who loves to go out.
And I would love to go out to dinner with you, but I'm just kind of over dinners.
I get it.
I don't know why.
I mean, I get it. I'm not doing it.
Don't do it.
But I get it.
I can't highly recommend it.
Right.
But at the same time, I kind of love it. You know what it is? It's like, you are an exception to every rule in my life, right?
Aww.
You are. But, like, it's kind of like, what are we going to talk about? We're going to sit down at the dinner table, and the waiter's going to come up to us and interrupt us every time someone's on the real juice. They're like, they're on the thing.
Yes.
They're at the punchline of the great story, and that's when he's going to come in and tell us the specials.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Come on.
That happens
I want to hear the story. I don't need to hear the specials. That's how I'm feeling.
We had a dinner with another couple a few months ago.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun dinner where everybody was in such a fun mood and telling stories and jokes.
Right.
And telling funny stories with punchlines. So not even jokes, but like stories that land with a funny punchline.
Wow.
And we had a waiter who I swear to God had bugged the table and was like, I'm walking over now. I'm gonna fuck this one up too. And to the point where like the third time I was looking at him, I was like, bro, wow.
Please.
Wow. And I wasn't mad at him really because I could tell he felt bad.
Sure.
But I was like, are you like really contrite or are you fucking with me?
Right.
Are you like doing this on purpose? Are you just watching my body language and go, oh, I feel like a punchline's coming. Dessert? You know?
Yes.
So yeah, I get that.
But I am also sympathetic to the server
Of course.
who's trying to do a dance with multiple tables and multiple people.
Right, because if they don't come over, then you're like, why did the waiter come over?
They can't win.
They can't win. I think I am extremely solicitous even when it comes to.
Wow, that's a beautiful word.
Well, I mean, it's like that's a tough job.
Yeah.
And when somebody does that job well,
Right.
I not only reflect my appreciation monetarily.
You're a big tipper.
But I will say to them, you know what? It's really nice when somebody does this job as well as you do it. I think I would want to hear that.
I was a waiter and I was terrible at it.
Oh my God.
I was terrible at it.
In New York?
No, in Massachusetts. When I was growing up, my mom and dad rented a house for the family on Cape Cod. And there was a
Say
golf...
it right.
Cape Cod.
Thank you.
Cape Cod. And so there was a golf club nearby that both my brother and I worked at, and we were waiters in the golf club restaurant.
Age?
16 to 20, then 19 or
So
whatever.
Ryan's a couple years younger than you.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And not good. And I was kind of clueless because I was...
How were you not good at it?
Well, let me just give you an example. So the guys in the kitchen knew that it was not my calling to be a waiter, right? So they would mess with me. They would mess with me quite a bit.
Because you're already a musician at this point.
I'm a musician, really. I'm just thinking about lyrics as I'm walking around handing out tuna melts.
Yeah.
And and the guys in the kitchen sort of knew that I wasn't really paying attention to just about any of it. And one of the days there were like the 9-hole ladies, had their luncheon that day, right? And one of them ordered a salad, and in the middle of the salad, like literally atop the middle of the salad, he put a dead grasshopper and just put it on my tray. I walked up to the tray, just saw the plate, took the plate,
didn't notice,
just walked into the to the restaurant, and then the screams just erupted as soon as, of course, I put it down on the table. I'm going to go with 9.9 out of 10 servers in this world would have noticed the 3-inch grasshopper. I'd think.
Was that your last day?
Should have been.
Should have been, but it probably wasn't.
They were very nice to me.
And so, did you get blamed for it, or what was the fallout? Was there any fallout?
It was a little bit more.
Did you think it was funny, or did you think, fuck you?
Yes.
All of those?
Yes, to all of those. But I also realized, like, okay, dude, you gotta pay a little more attention here.
So it was a teaching moment.
Yeah, because people don't necessarily always have your back. I don't know if you've noticed this.
It turns out,
right?
You're right about that.
So you're walking through life. Your job is you're gonna go into the kitchen. You just gotta pick up the plate with the salad on it, man. Those guys are nice to you. They're your friends. Sure they are. Sure they are, and that's why I don't go out to dinners anymore. Because of the grasshopper.
And here we go.
That's right.
You're still PTSD from the grasshopper on the.
I will never forget. I will never forget.
That's a great story, though. That's what this show's all about. That's the kind of story. I think we're done here.
We did it.
We got the grasshopper story.
Proud of us.
When I was thinking about you coming over this morning, I thought, I don't think I've ever asked you this in all the 20. I was thinking about it. We've been friends, like really close friends for 20-something, 21 years, 22 years?
Yeah, 22 years.
Because when we became friends fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we kind of threw our typical caution to the wind.
Well, but it has to be said, though, I had been a huge fan of yours forever.
Oh.
So meeting you, like, I kind of was just like, oh my gosh, this guy, I get to know this guy whose work I admired and respected so much and who I think is super, super talented. like as you say that, I have to I gotta say, like, you had a massive pass from me because you were Richard Marx. I was like, no way, do I get to be friends with Richard Marx?
And I appreciate that, but really,
Just being honest.
truly, the same was true in reverse, because
nice.
when we met, and I'll tell the story and you can pepper it or you can change it.
Right.
I was a massive fan of yours. So meeting you was like your songwriting and your work had affected me very deeply. So when I met you, you were an important person in my world.
That's
so
kind.
I think that,
Thanks.
I guess if only one of those things, if it wasn't mutual admiration, maybe we wouldn't have bonded as much.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Possibly, yeah.
But the question I realized this morning I never asked you is, what came first? You playing guitar or you singing?
Well, it certainly was guitar. So my dad had a nylon string Goya classical guitar that sort of resided in the corner in the living room.
He didn't play?
He played, but it was kind of like, A chord, E chord, very, first position, kind of, like folk music, kind of Peter, Paul, and Mary kind of thing, And I didn't really ever see him play. And so, which is the reason why this happened, so that when I actually started showing interest in the guitar, I would walk up to it and I would just put it in my lap, like Jeff Healey. Do you remember Jeff Healey, the amazing guitar player?
Sure.
So I would just lay the guitar down flat in my lap and then play it like a harp. Like, I didn't know that you could press your fingers on the frets to make different notes. I thought, and this is, so it's probably illustrative of the fact that my father wasn't really playing guitar, because I would have really probably sort of seen him doing it and then thought, I learned how to play My Best Friend's Girlfriend by the Cars with open strings on the guitar. And that was the first time.
Just the melody?
No, the
Illustrate it.
Sure.
Because didn't you just use illustrative?
I don't know, I might have.
Something.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna move my left hand away from the guitar.
Okay. She's my best friend's girl.
You're always dancing down the street with your suede blue
And were you
eyes.
singing along when you were?
No.
You were just.
That wasn't my job.
You were just jam.
I just wanted.
So cool.
I just wanted to be the guitar player. That was all I ever really
But you
wanted
did
to
it like a lap steel.
Yeah,
like
it was on my
like a lap guitar.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't really do
No, you
that
can't.
well.
It's okay.
No, whatever. You can imagine it.
Yeah.
It's applicable.
So you would just
Yeah. Turns out that's
with
the
the
only
low E string towards you.
Yeah, low E string towards me. Yeah, and that's the only song you can play open like that. There's no other song that can be played like that. But it did. I lucked into
Tell
it.
that to John Fogerty, but I'm pretty sure
poor
that
John.
like all John Fogerty's. No, I'm saying that as a compliment.
Oh, okay, good.
That the simplicity of that is what made them classics.
Okay, good.
There is never going to be a millisecond in my life where there's any dissing.
Okay, good.
I'm a massive John Fogerty fan.
I am. I mean, there are great John Fogerty songs. I don't know that I ever did like a deep dive on Credence or anything like that.
I get it. But yeah, I grew up on that.
But he's John Fogerty.
And his voice is like one of the most, talk about unique and instantly recognized. There's no other voice in history on the planet that sounds like John Fogerty.
True.
Peter Cetera.
True.
There are a couple of singers where the sound of their voice is so identifiable and so
Richard
unique.
Marx.
I don't think so.
Sorry, I do.
All
night.
Yeah, you can spot me on that one.
I mean, I rest my case.
But I'm saying, like, even Springsteen or Sting or, I mean, Rod Stewart, I guess I would put in that category.
Totally.
Like, it's Rod in a second.
But Sting, Sting from the second.
If he's singing high, yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, there are a few.
There are lots.
Okay, there's lots.
I mean, there's a ton. Now that we're, I mean, it's the list.
Here we go. This is why we don't have dinner.
All we need are people. We need to focus on the people who don't sound unique.
Yes. By the way, I sent it to you yesterday or the day before. I texted you there's this pretty old, I think it's 10 years old now, but one of the early Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee
Yeah.
episodes is Jerry Seinfeld with Larry David. And that whole episode, I remember when I saw it, I think I called you and I said, you have to watch this because this could be us.
Yeah, I mean,
There is so much, and I feel like I'm Jerry and you're Larry.
Well,
for the most part. We trade a little bit here and there. But no, sometimes I'm totally Larry too. But there's a scene where they're in this diner and just the interaction. Just go to YouTube and look up Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David, food. And there's a little... Snacking, yeah. There's a little banter between the two of them that made me genuinely laugh so hard.
Yeah.
But am I wrong that it reminds me of us when we're out doing this?
Yeah, no, it is a similar, there's something about it where we're just, at the end of that whatever time, however long we're hanging out, my stomach muscles are sore from laughing, always. And I remember we were driving a SUV around, I want to say it was LA, but I don't know. And we had one of us was driving, the other had the phone camera, whatever, and we had music on.
Oh God, it's on. I think it's on YouTube.
Okay, and I just remember
we were DOS switching.
Howling.
We were trying to get to that place that's no longer there in Studio City. We did a TV thing in the morning together.
Right.
Over
Artisan
on the west side,
Gallery.
and we were driving to the Artisan Cheese Gallery because I
in
craved
peace.
the salad that they had there.
Oh, that salad.
And you started filming,
Right.
but we were flipping the dial. And
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those episodes.
Well, honestly, it's just how we are.
Yeah.
And when you see
No filter.
when you see friends like that, where Larry's bit about the the coffee cup could be a teacup.
Yes.
Like, how's it any different to you that I'm drinking tea?
What
You can't even see it. You can't see
These
from
are the
where you are. You
conversations we
can't see.
have.
It's wonderful.
It's great.
Yeah.
But I totally digressed into that. So you play it's my best friend's girl. Is it not?
It probably is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
How does that progress into you being a waiter in a, in a golf club? How does that progress into you going, I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be a professional? Because you didn't go to school for that.
No.
You majored in psychology?
Psychology, right.
But by the time you go to Emerson?
For college, Georgetown?
Georgetown.
Yeah.
I always say Emerson.
That's all right.
You're clearly on the path. No?
I mean, I don't think so. My family is a very sort of traditional New England family, like a career in the arts.
Too risky.
It's probably not in the cards for most people, right? And so what are you really going to do? What are you going to do to earn a living?
All right, Matthew, if you want to do this music thing, but you got to have a backup plan.
And you got to have a great education and all these things. And in fairness, when I need to say, when I made the call to my parents saying, hey, thanks so much for boarding school. Thanks so much for college. P.S. They paid for all of it. I didn't pay for any of it.
Wow.
Okay. And I made the phone call and I was like, I think I'd like to try to become a professional musician. To their eternal credit, they said, how can we help? I remember my mom said, how can we help? That was what came out of her mouth in that moment. And knowing what I know now about how much it costs I don't have kids, but knowing how much it costs to raise a kid, no chance. I'd have been like, dude, you dreaming? You know it? How about this, big boy? Pay me back every penny that I paid for your stupid education and then go off and sing some songs somewhere on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But no, they really just said, we want you to be happy. So, the other thing that I have to say, so my father took over the family business, which was an electrical wholesale supply company in Worcester, Massachusetts, downtown Worcester, Massachusetts, which has subsequently sort of been revived, and the whole downtown in Worcester is actually doing great, which is amazing. Good. The Pawtucket Red Sox came into Worcester, and now it's like they've got this amazing baseball stadium. The whole downtown is kind of revitalized. At the time, though, it was pretty slow, kind of sad down there. And he did it every day, like slogged it out for 55 years or something crazy like that. And I remember calling him at some point when I was getting ready to graduate from school and saying, "Hey, Dad, is me taking over the business something that you would sort of think is could be a good idea, or is that something that could be helpful to you?" And because he had found that profession, that path to be not terribly fulfilling, albeit he had been able to support us.
Yeah, send you to school, and your brother.
So he, both my parents like really took care of us, but he didn't find it to be necessarily like his true calling. I think. And so when I asked him that question, he said, and I heard there was steel in his voice, and there's not usually steel. You know my dad. Yeah. There's not usually steel in his voice. So he's a very kind of more like calm, kind of more jovial kind of guy. Yeah. But there was steel in his voice, and he said, "The only thing I will ever forbid you from doing is taking over the family business."
Wow.
You have to do what you want to do.
Wow, what a gift.
Yeah.
What a beautiful gift.
Incredible.
Because it would have been so easy for him, even from an ego standpoint.
Yeah.
My son's taking over the business.
Yeah.
Wow, good for him.
And I probably would have tried to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my mom and dad, they'd been good to me. I want to try to be good to them. Let me try to take over the business. And it would have been the wrong thing for me, very clearly. And when when it was time for me to give this thing a try, they were very receptive and supportive.
Did you ever ask your dad if he could have done anything, what it would have been?
History teacher.
He wanted to be a history teacher.
Yeah, he voraciously reads.
Yeah, he's a really smart guy.
Yeah, super, super smart guy. And I think he would have been an amazing teacher.
Your parents, who I've gotten to, not to know, but spent enough time around them.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love most about them, which is a part of this particular conversation, they're not just support, but the way they show up to shows is, I had the same thing with my parents, but my parents were musicians, so my parents were appreciating what was happening to me on a different level.
Right.
Your parents, the way they show up and the joy that is on their faces, every gig. Yeah. I mean, when you're in their hood, they don't miss a gig. So
No.
I mean, they're so not just supportive. It's hard. I'm trying to find the right word. They're celebrating you.
Yeah,
it's really, really lovely.
Beautifully put.
Yeah,
yeah,
good for you.
And I think they do the same
for them.
They do the same with my brother. I mean, I think they, as a family, we realize like
Well, your brother has a real job.
He does have a real job. Let's be honest.
Let's discuss what your brother does.
So my brother's an ear, nose, and throat facial plastics surgeon, and he does everything from smaller aesthetic things that really make a huge impact on people's lives, to like someone gets hit in the head with a baseball bat and he's like puts their ear back together or something crazy like that. He really, really changes lives. But I think we realize as a family, like, we've been, knock on marble, beautiful marble, by the way.
Thank you.
Is that marble?
Yep.
All right. I didn't know if it was some other snobby
Pretty
thing.
sure I'm gonna go marble.
Let's go marble. But yeah, we've been fortunate, and we're appreciative of those things.
For sure.
Not without challenges as a family and as people, but yeah, and they come, and I try not to look at them too much because I start to forget the words. But when my mom and dad are at a show, I can see them singing along, sort of, and I can see a smile, especially on my dad's face, and my mom is almost always just like taking pictures and doing videos and stuff. I mean,
yeah, it's awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, those are really good memories that you'll always have. Too.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't generally like to get too much in the minutia of the background and how the career started and stuff like that, because I just feel like so much of that is well tread, you know, in other interviews, and this is really more, especially with you, because you tell great stories. So tell me, just whatever comes to mind. Tell me a story early on when you had decided, you'd made the call, I'm going to be a professional musician. Your mom's like, how can we help? From that point on, tell me a story that illustrates a moment when you were like, I'm on the right path here. And tell me a story about something that happened and you went, oh wow, this is the other side of this shit. This is fucking brutal.
Right.
Give me one of each.
Well, the one that for some reason always comes to mind, it's sort of a benign story, but at the time it was actually a really big deal to me. It was a night off somewhere in the middle of the country in a not particularly nice hotel somewhere. And I ordered a pizza for myself, was splurging. And when the pizza person knocked on my door to deliver my pizza, when I opened it up, it was a young woman, and she had the pizza in her hands. And when she saw my face, she dropped my pizza on the ground and did like a little, one of those. And I think she was even kind of like, it was turning into like, can I take a picture? And I thought, well, I'm just trying to order a pizza.
So you had her fired.
No.
Clearly.
So she felt horrible about the pizza having been dropped on the floor.
But you recognize in this moment what's happening to her, right? Like she's losing her shit because she loves you.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. Right. It was beautiful.
Right.
And I didn't say a word about the fact that the pizza had fallen on the floor. Right. Okay. Which, P.S., that's what happens sometimes with pizzas. They come and they put them on the ground when they're delivering them. It's not a big deal.
It might not have even injured the pizza.
No, it could have actually gotten better. Maybe.
Yeah, flattened
it out.
Yeah.
It was too bubbly before.
Maybe.
Now it's flat.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, so we did a little picture, and then she took off, and I'm eating the pizza, which is lovely. And 35 minutes later, there's a knock on the door. And I go to the door, and I open it, and it's her again with another pizza. And she says, this one hasn't hit the floor. Please have this one.
Oh.
So she brought me another pizza.
Wow.
And in that moment, I realized, like, okay, things are happening, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was just me. I opened the door,
right.
and then she was excited about that, right? So that was a bizarre thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a good story, though.
I mean,
it's good. It's especially good that particular story registered with you in the way that it did.
Yeah.
Where you were like, oh, I get this. I get this. Yeah.
And then as far as things sort of going the other way, well, I mean, there's so many. There's so many on both sides of this. I don't know how kind of real you want to get, but I guess the one that kind of stung the most, but it has always probably been one of the best things that could have ever happened to me in my life, was when we were releasing the Go record,
right.
which was the follow-up to Everything You Want, which had been the record that had done very well for us in 1999-ish. Mm-hmm. As Go was coming out, we were getting people at the label were assuring us that we were a priority, and they were gonna, really work this record. And boy, we think you guys did a great job. And the people who had been at the record label before for the Everything You Want record, almost all of them had either been fired or let go. So a whole new group of people were brought in who really didn't have much in the way of interest necessarily in us, although we didn't really know that at the time. Mm-hmm. But the day it came out, I remember, I think I was in Chicago, and I walked to 5 or 6 different record stores to see. I was all excited. Mm-hmm. Let me see. I want to see Go in the record store, right? And I only saw it in one of the record stores, and it was like in the back, and I think it was misfiled. So it was like, it wasn't under Vertical Horizon. It was, under
Verve Pipe.
Under Verve Pipe or something adjacent. And And that just, I remember that feeling. It hurt so bad. And the way that story ended, as I recall it, I was walking back to the hotel and I walked into a 7-Eleven and I got a drink or something. And as I walked up to the cashier, I was just so desperately wanting some connection with another human. I can't explain it. I don't know what it was exactly, but the guy behind me had was buying a Mountain Dew. And as I was paying for my drink, I was like, and I'll buy this guy's Mountain Dew as well. I just thought, this. I don't know why I wanted to do something nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not going to buy my Mountain Dew. I was like, although that was a Massachusetts accent, I can't do the Chicago thing. But I was like, what do you mean? I'm just going to buy. Just let me do something for a stranger. He's like, no way, buddy. No way are you buying my Mountain Dew. Not a chance.
It sounds like Chicago.
Put your money back in your freaking wallet.
I don't need any handouts.
Yeah. Like he was pissed at me.
Do I look like charity?
Yeah. And I was like, dude, and so that's how that was an indicator probably that things could go south. Both of those little moments were southbound.
Those are good.
I mean,
I want to tell the story about how we met because I guess it's sort of distantly connected to the second story. But so you guys put out the Everything You Want album. You'd made a few albums before, like 3 albums before,
yeah,
right?
3, nice.
But they were more acoustic. They were more coffee house-y,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
The first couple albums were just you and another guy.
Yep, Keith.
And so I was not aware of you or Vertical Horizon because I listened to pop radio.
Right.
Or unless somebody turns me on to music, especially at that time in the 90s, I wasn't listening to too much alt stuff.
Right.
And then the song Everything You Want blew up, went to number 1, inescapable, luckily, because it was great. And I think that all it took for me to buy the album was that, but maybe I waited until You're a God, the second single.
Right.
But once it became clear, I really like this guy's voice, I really love the vibe of this music, it spoke to me. I bought the album, and then I had this experience, which has only happened to me a handful of times in my life, where I sat down and listened to an album, which we don't really do anymore in the world.
Right.
Tell me the last time any of you guys watching, tell me the last time you sat and listened to an album from beginning to end without checking your email or texting or, being on Instagram, whatever. So I just sat in this beautiful space. I had a recording studio and I put the record on and I listened top to bottom, and I was so moved by it. I felt such a connection to you through that record. Because part of it was, it's a fairly dark record lyrically. It's a painful record.
Yeah.
And I was going through stuff. So, that's what is so beautiful about songwriting and music. And sometimes it's not even songs, it's just pieces of music that just you connect with emotionally.
Right.
So I had this deep connection to that record, to that whole album. And I became a bona fide VH fan, a devotee. I was a huge fan. And then as I was listening to the album, then the song Best I Ever Had came on, and I was like, holy shit, he even fucking does the ballads. Oh my God. So I became a full-on fan. Flash forward, I'm gonna say 6 months. Well, now I'm driving around in the car and I've memorized every lyric, every song, except for one, which we can cut out or talk about later. I could teach a class on Vertical Horizon in this album. And I'm playing, I do this gig in the year 2000, I do this gig around the Super Bowl, which was happening in Tampa. And they had different stages, different artists performing at different stages. They kind of closed it downtown. And so my band and I are headlining on some stage, and there's bands playing all over town. Mm-hmm. And so where I'm about to go on stage, and I think it was an outdoor thing, so I don't even think we had a dressing room. I think we were just on a tour bus as our dressing room. And my tour manager at the time said, hey, Richard, there's this band. They're playing down the street, but they wanted to say hi to you. They're called Vertical Horizon. And I just remember going, and having this moment of realization, which now I can trace it back because we've talked about this so much. I have manifested so many people into my life, people whose work has affected me, have all come into my life, almost without exception. So there was a part of me that was like, my favorite band on earth wants to meet me.
That's so sweet.
But then there was a part of me that was like, yeah, okay, yeah, right on time, I guess.
Right.
Like it made sense to me.
Sure.
Like, okay, here's another example of like,
yeah.
what does this mean?
Right.
Because in some cases, the people I've manifested have become dear people to me.
Right.
You know? So we met. I remember you were really, really like, oh man, I've been a fan for such a long time. And I kind of thought you were like just saying that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just was, because you were younger and cool and, you know, and I was kind of hadn't had a hit in quite a while. But I was still out doing my thing. And I thought, oh, that was just, you know, courtesy.
Got it.
And then we hung out. Oh, no. And then I was done in time to come see most of your show.
Right.
So we just talked for a few minutes before my show, and you guys watched a bit of it, and then you went to do your show, and then I hauled ass to see your show.
Right.
And I'd never seen you live, so I was so excited because I'm seeing my favorite band live for the first time. And you crushed it. And then we hung out for about an hour, I think in my tour bus.
Yeah.
And we exchanged numbers, and it was mostly, I mean, we were all talking, but you and I kind of like we were having a conversation separately. And I just remember thinking, yeah, and I like this guy.
Yeah.
Like I instantly liked you. And then I reached out to you a couple times, and I think at one point, because I was co-writing with so many different people at that point, and I was having hits with other people, and I was mostly, at that time, just a writer and producer. I wasn't really performing that much, not making records really that much. So I immediately thought, well, why wouldn't I ask my favorite songwriter of the day to write with me? And you were so gracious, but you were like, yeah, no.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
No, you know, I'm kind of like working on some other thing.
I'm kind of busy.
And I remember like
honestly, I'm a fan, but I'm a little
but
all those things I said
to you. I don't want to write with you.
I don't want to write with you.
Well, not you.
I want you to really like what I write. That's how this is gonna work.
So I was a little let down. But not like bad. Like I was just sort of like, oh. Because usually that was met with, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, but we have to circle back to that.
Okay.
Because, there are two sides to every story,
okay.
Right?
Yeah, okay, fine.
So but I can inject this later if you want me to.
No,
but we're not forgetting to do this. So
no, I'm done. That's how I remember us.
Here's what happens for normal people when Richard Marx writes them an email and says, hey, do you want to write with me? You shit yourself. You go into a flop sweat. You're pretty sure you've got a fever. You're like, this is scary.
Sure you have a fever.
Yeah, this is scary.
Okay.
And I had never really co-written songs with other people. It was, at the time, it was a purely, selfish endeavor. I don't know how else to really say it, but just me in a room somewhere trying to pick through the detritus.
Yeah, and it's a very different mechanism than co-writing.
And I didn't know the mechanism. I had no idea. And it's you asking me to just give it a try. You'll be fine. And so it was.
No, just jump in the deep end. It's fine. You'll float.
Just go. Just feel free to go play basketball with Michael Jordan. Just a little pickup game. It'll go great. Right. Trust me. You know what I mean? And but eventually, and I don't want to cut ahead, but at some point, I think we just sort of we had become such good friends that it wasn't scary anymore.
Right.
I mean, I want to do well. I want to be good. I want to be better. You know what I mean? Not better than other people. I want to be better tomorrow than I was today. And when you asked me to do that, I just wasn't prepared. But subsequent to that time, some of my favorite moments in my life have been the two of us sitting in a room somewhere with two guitars and just seeing what we come up with. And it's been one of the absolute joys of my life, not just because I love you as my friend and my brother, but because I think you are one of the all-time best at this craft.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you.
Thank you. At all of it, like from the writing part to the performing part to the singing part, all that stuff. So it was really just me being afraid of not being able to do it.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
In fact, as I recall, we did spend some time together. I remember I brought my family to a gig in Chicago, so we had more FaceTime then. And we started communicating a little bit more.
Right.
You were living in New York at the time.
Yep.
And I was in Chicago. And then I think, as I recall, you said to me, this is like a year later now, or a year and a half maybe. I was working on a record for the first time in a while. I remember I played you some of it when you came to my house. But I remember you saying, hey, I don't remember whether I brought it up again about I seem to think you said, hey, I remember you asked me about writing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was not in a place, I was just I'd never really done that. But I really want to co-write. I want to experience more stuff. I want to write for different things, and I know you really are into that. So I would like to take you up on that invitation if it's still, if it's still there.
And you said, no way.
I said, fuck off.
Yeah, that's right.
Just leave the pizza.
Yeah. Just leave the pizza.
Just leave the pizza and go.
God,
leave the pizza and go.
That was good.
So that's when you came to Chicago and spent like 3 or 4 days with me.
And that was magic.
Yeah.
That was magic.
Well, the first song we wrote together wasn't magic. It was, but it was okay.
Best song ever written.
It was pretty good, but then it was the perfect appetizer because it was comfortable.
Yeah.
And we had fun.
It also wasn't, when the first one wasn't great, neither one of us was like, well, this isn't going to work.
Right. No, we were like, oh, no. We just have to keep poking.
Let's try it again. Yeah, try it again.
Yeah. And then, what is so beautiful is to think about the origin of me asking you to co-write, if you want to co-write with me, and you saying, no, thank you.
Yeah.
To the amount of work that we've done together, the amount of songs we've written together that are some of my favorite songs in my songwriting catalog, some of my favorite songs to sing, still live, songs I'm so deeply proud of and to be a part of with you, but also just what that led to, not just, most importantly, our friendship, but the experience of us doing shows together and doing this thing we call Duo, where we haven't done it while we're doing some shows in December, but for a few years, we were pretty regularly out on the road together, just the two of us, 2 acoustic guitars, taking turns, you singing and playing on my songs and vice versa. And aside from the experience of it that we had, so we're playing music that we love together, but we're going out to movies.
Right.
Back when you used to go to dinner.
That's right.
It was so fun.
I won't do that in December.
You used to go to...
You'll be going on your own.
Do you think these couple of gigs are going to get me to go to dinner again?
I'm ordering a pizza.
You've got another thing coming.
In my room alone.
It's kind of sweet that it began with you rejecting me. You know what I mean?
Well, I think one of the things that you and I have always been with each other is real.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like, that's why I feel very, very safe with you. I feel like you are one of those people, like you're the one I'm going to call when I'm really in the weeds.
Same.
You know what I mean? And
we've been in the weeds.
Oh, and I actually just even saying those words out loud. But you have my back and have had my back as a friend and as a brother, as just a a companion in some way on this journey. Like, I can't believe my luck. And I also, I love that I was honest with you and I just, but can I mention one other thing that's really important?
Sure.
So when Go came out, and I was talking about the bad experience I had walking around, right?
I know where you're going with this.
Not long thereafter, the sort of writing was on the wall for the Go record. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't a priority. Just what it was. And we went from that kind of the beautiful heights of everything you want to kind of a different experience with Go, which I maintain was actually a great experience for me and has served me well, right? You can't always be victorious, and you gotta keep on trudging, you know?
Yep.
And but I was hurt, and I'll never forget, I got an email from you saying, hey,
this is before we were friends.
This is before we were friends. And that's actually an important point too.
Yeah,
it wasn't like you were reaching out to a friend.
Right.
You knew what was happening.
I was reaching out to a fellow artist.
And you wanted to give me a virtual hug and a little pat on the back. And you said in this email, hey man, I know what's happening right now. And I know kind of how you're probably feeling. But as you're sort of navigating this time, which is challenging, I need you to know that every morning here in Chicago, when it's time for me to drive my kids to school, and I ask them what record they want to I'm going to choke up, dude. And I ask them what record they want to listen to. They say, we want to listen to Vertical Horizon's Go.
True.
And so, like, just know that as you're dealing with all this other stuff, you've also got that coming your way.
Number one in our house.
And like, what a deeply impactful and beautiful and supportive thing to have done to a fellow songwriter, a younger friend, or someone that you knew what the path was, you knew the pitfalls of the path, you knew sort of like the high moments and maybe also some of the tougher times.
Sure.
And it was just one of the most beautiful things that anyone has ever done to me in my life. And it was one of the things that helped me sort of crest that wave or whatever, switch from thinking of that whole experience as being a negative thing to being one with some real valuable life lessons.
Well, first of all, I really love that album too. I adore it.
Thank you.
I don't know that I prefer it less than Everything You Want. Between those two albums, they're both equally amazing to me.
Thank you.
And so much of your other work as well. But I do remember wanting to put that out there to you without really knowing you at that point too well. But I also remember that you could have easily been like, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Right. We've both been in that situation where we tried to do something nice for somebody and they go, hey,
I don't
thanks.
Do that. I don't do nice
That's true,
things.
I forgot. I do that.
You do.
You are against it.
No.
But easily you could have been like, hey man, that's really nice of you. I appreciate it.
Right.
And then that was it.
Right.
And I wouldn't have been like, I wouldn't have expected anything else. But I remember that your reaction to it, not in your reaction in what you wrote, but that's when all of a sudden you were like reaching out to me a little bit.
Right.
Like it shifted.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like
fair.
you were like, oh, no. Like this guy did this.
This is a good human being.
He's a good human being. I want to know him more. And then that's how it developed.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that. I mean, I hate that record suffered the bullshit that it did because it had nothing to do with the work.
You and I have talked a lot about gratitude and trying to live in a state of gratitude more often than not. And it's a real challenge for me. It really, really is. But, when I think back on that record, I cannot help but have to think about Everything You Want. And Everything You Want did so well. And like, so Go not doing well in isolation doesn't really mean anything. Go not doing well in comparison to Everything You Want, the sort of vast discrepancy in terms of how those two records performed, well, that stings a little bit more, but only when you realize that because Everything You Want reached such beautiful heights.
Yeah.
And I have to focus on that beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because without that beautiful thing, the challenge or
you have no perspective.
Exactly. The failure of the next thing means nothing.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So like, good for you. A failure stung you. That means probably you had some success. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really well put.
Thank you.
That's valuable. I never really thought about it that way. I
don't know that I did either.
Well, but it's good.
Yeah.
Because any of us who've been lucky enough to have had successful ventures.
Right.
When we've had unsuccessful ventures, it stings because we've had the euphoria or the experience of winning. And, and like having something be so accepted by the masses. And it feels really good.
Yes.
It feels really good, and it can be addictive.
I mean, I haven't had enough, I don't think, of those experiences to have experienced the sort of addictive qualities of it. I mean, you came out of the gate and boom, 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 boom. I mean, all those records, like first 4, I don't even know. But I do know that, man, I am so fortunate to have tried this crazy, impossible thing, back to my childhood and my New England family, and like, you're gonna go try to be a songwriter, little kid. All right, sure, give it a shot. I mean, the fact that I'm here with you now in 2025, you're one of my absolute best friends on the planet, and one of the people I think is the absolute best at the craft that I love more than anything. Like, yeah, it's worked out pretty well.
Well, not to mention, I'll add this. How about from wondering, can a kid from Worcester be in the music business, to 6 months ago, I'm on the set of The Voice in Australia.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember exactly how it came up. Or I think I just mentioned, I was in a production meeting and with the crew of The Voice, lovely people in Australia. And I think I mentioned my best friend Matt, or my buddy Matt, or whatever. And I said, he's in a band called Vertical Horizon. And I wasn't sure if you guys had, I don't think you ever toured in Australia.
No, we never did.
But I wasn't sure if they, and immediately they were like, he's everything you want. And they start singing. And so I sent you a video of it.
Yeah.
And it made me feel so proud and so great. But think about that. Think about the fact that you had those, I think I want to do this, to the point where, even if it's just one, which it's more than one, but even if it were just one song that overwhelmingly the world knows and loves, that's
the best.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it's also not why we do it.
No.
It's not what you're really ultimately going for necessarily.
We can't fabricate that. We can't.
Right.
If we could, we would do it every time.
Absolutely. Although I do think you could sell this beverage and become a spillionaire.
A spillionaire?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that
I'm drunk.
in a while.
I tried to say billionaire.
This is a good time. Tell me the story that you've told on stage with me.
Yeah.
It's a really good story of how Everything You Want came to be.
So I was living in Greenwich Village, and I don't know, had gone out to see a band or something the night before, exhausted. Around 4:30 in the morning, I hear this mantra in my head, and I'm thinking, well, that's cool. That's a pretty cool thing. But man, I'm just now
so tired.
Really not the time.
I'll remember it.
I'll remember it in the morning.
It's the worst
songwriter
curse.
Yeah, you never remember anything.
You never fucking remember it in the morning, asshole.
So I rolled over and went back to sleep, discarded the little thing, and
Do you remember did it even have the sound?
Yeah.
You heard it as it became to be.
Yeah, slightly backwards, phase 90, tone control rolled off on the bridge.
For all you guitar nerds.
Yeah. Then, shortly thereafter, the chords came into my head. And I'm like, well, that's crazy because that first bit and this bit
goes together.
Kind of goes together magically. Like this really could be something. It's just not a good time for me. So I rolled over, I went back to sleep. You could almost feel this idea. Now the idea is getting pissed.
Yeah.
That is like this, listen to this.
This close to going.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
He wants to be a songwriter. Hello, here I am.
Yeah.
And so then probably 15 minutes later, I heard, he's everything you want. He's everything you need. The whole thing, the whole chorus. He means nothing to you and you don't know why. Boom, up, bolt, upright. Where's the pad? Where's the mini cassette recorder, micro cassette recorder?
Yeah,
that's what we had back then. Yeah. And scribbling down and making sure that I'm writing in a coherent way. Like sometimes I would read my notepads and they'd be casual, like my eyes would be half closed as I was writing them, and you try to read them back and they're just scribbles, and you know at the time that you thought it was good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But now you have no idea.
Yeah.
It's just
even you can't decipher
pencil lead. Yeah. It's a charcoal drawing of someone.
And are you holding a guitar at this point, or are you just?
I know that at first I sang the chorus melody into the micro cassette thing, and then I had roommates, so I had to be quiet.
Oh fuck! This
right?
is even better.
Yeah, so it's more like somewhere that's speaking, but then I kind of it all was there, and then the whole thing just came forth as an entity, as a the only thing I
couldn't stop it.
I couldn't stop it. And the only thing that I had to that I was trying to wrestle with a little bit was, what's the pronoun in the chorus?
Yeah. Because you would have thought that your instinct would have been, I'm everything you want, right?
Yeah.
So you're probably asking yourself, why did I sing he? Why is my first instinct to say he?
Well, but the whole thing was that the woman that this song was written about thought of me as a friend.
Right.
And she was always turning to people who treated her badly.
Right, which is the basis of the story of the song.
Exactly.
But you didn't think of that the minute you started singing those words, right?
No, I did not.
You figured out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I realized that, because I did try, I tried different pronouns as I was demoing the song out. And that's when I sort of really stumbled on, like, oh yes, this is how it ends. It ends with I'm everything you want, because that's the whole point of this song, But yeah, it was, man, I'm just so thankful.
I think we should do it. So here's the thing. I've only done one little piece of musical information on this song. When Prince Royce was sitting here, and he had just released an album, and he covered Right Here Waiting in his style, with half in Spanish, beautiful version of it. So I just played guitar and he sang, and it was really cool, because generally we don't do any kind of musical performances here, because it's not really what this thing's about.
Right.
But then you're here, so it feels like, as you said, if there aren't rules about this show, this should be one of them.
Yeah.
That when Matt's here, we do a song or two. So,
well, thank you for nudging the rules that way.
And I'm sorry that this is not exactly. All right, so start with the thing, and then we'll do a little bit.
All right, I'll start with the thing, and then you do the thing.
I'll join you.
3. Somewhere they're speaking, it's already coming in. Oh, and it's rising in the back of your mind. never could get it unless you were faded. Now you're here and you don't know why. But under skin knees and the skin marks, past the places where you used to learn. You howl and listen, listen and wait for the echoes of angels who won't return. He's everything you want, he's everything you need, he's everything inside me that you wish you could be. He says all the right things at exactly the right time, but he means nothing to you and you don't know why. And you don't know why. I don't know.
Come on.
Oh my gosh!
Daisy really loved that.
We love that.
That was so
Thank
fun.
you, Daisy.
It's been a long, you're leaving me hanging.
Oh, so sorry.
It's okay. That's been too long since we've done that.
I agree.
We haven't done that.
Yeah.
We were doing it so often.
Right.
For years. You'd be like, oh yeah.
Let's do it again.
Right now?
Well, no.
No.
No, I liked that one. That was fun.
That was really good.
You know, soon.
Yeah. So Everything You Want is one of many examples. And we've talked about this socially when we've hung out together, but I don't think we've talked about it in a while. So I want to know if your perspective has changed about this. Like Rufus Wainwright was here, and we talked about how art, I won't say art, how a particular art in you often is expressed through sorrow, depression, sadness, and that I have always felt that the best songs come from pain.
Mm-hmm.
So then, and I've had my periods, long periods of being depressed and really in a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
And the only beauty that's really come out of it has been songs that were therapeutic for me, but also realizing that it's connecting with other people who are going through a version of what I'm going through, which is one of the reasons that your songs connected with me so much, especially at that time.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you now is, do you believe that the best songwriting still lives in sort of darkness? And B, do you ever find yourself almost manufacturing it or finding a way, or unconsciously or consciously manufacturing it so that the writing will be better?
Well, this is going to be an awfully hard thing to cop to, but there's no question. I mean, there have been times in my life when I have kind of burned it down for the songs, and put myself in, pain and misery, and done the same to other people, for the ideas that would come out of it. I don't know that it was conscious. I don't know.
I would doubt that it was conscious.
I don't think it was.
Knowing you.
Yeah, I don't think I was trying to do it. But in hindsight, sometimes when you look back,
Sure.
You're like, oh, come on, buddy. You might be telling me that you don't know that this was happening, but come on.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me, but I'll try to give myself the benefit of the doubt. But yes, I think that, part of it may be, and you and I have talked about this, I get suspicious of really happy songs. You're not that happy, buddy. Whoever you are, you're not that happy. Don't answer this because I know you're kind of happy now.
I am, but I was going to say
Stop it.
No, you don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say, is it that you're suspicious of happy songs or that you're suspicious of happiness?
Yes.
I tend to be as well.
Of both.
Yeah.
And I do. The beautiful thing is, generally speaking, I'm happier now than I have been in a long time.
We've navigated a lot of waters. And
Yes.
and we're smart.
Yes.
So if you haven't progressed to the point where you're
Right.
at least in a slightly, if not much better place than you were 20 years ago,
Right. One would hope.
then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. But I do think when I sit down to write, I very often sort of think back on how it feels to maybe be a little bit, I think back on the sort of darker times. And I love it when I write a song that is positive and that is happy, because it will, by definition, have passed a lot of tests along the way, right? For me, it's so easy to be like, no,
Yeah.
or delete,
Yeah.
like that, not a chance. But if it gets to the point where it's on a record and it's happy, then I really like it passed all the tests for me.
Yeah.
The sadder songs, it's my more natural habitat, it just is.
But haven't you done what I've done, which is when people have said, but like on the last album or your last album,
Yeah.
I'm sure we could go to songs or even pieces of lyric that are really almost despondent,
Yeah.
or really sad, really achingly sad,
Right.
right? And I've had people go, but you seem so happy. Like,
Right.
why did you write that? Or how did you write that? And I go, I very easily remember how it felt when I was really in the weeds.
Well, so that's what I was going to say too. I do think it's the sort of pain memory is very fresh.
Yeah.
Right? So it's easy to sort of dive back into it.
Right. And don't you think that those periods of our lives also still, like, I don't know that you can ever really write them all out. There's always, the well is always deep.
Yeah.
I never run out of ways or things
Right.
to write about those periods of time. Like, even if it's a very similar subject matter or emotion being conveyed, it's just a different way of saying it, because it's like I haven't purged it all.
No.
It's still there.
Right.
Right?
No, I think absolutely. There are like those threads are still, sort of out in the breeze, sort of untethered, and there is a part of me that wants to go back to them and try to hone them together, so that it feels less like there's a hole inside of me that's leaking out.
Yeah. I also have, and this speaks to what you said about your suspicion, I also have a philosophy that I hold true to, which is, at least in my experience in my life, the sensation, the physical and emotional feeling of sadness and sorrow and longing is a more powerful emotion than happiness.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want that to be true.
I don't want it to be true either, but it is.
But I think it is. I think, let's put it this way, Danny Boy, when I was a kid, my father, I've always had a hard time falling asleep. And my father would come up and he'd put his hand on my back, and he'd sing Danny Boy to me. And that is, I mean, there it is, right?
Yeah.
You've got the pain is right there from father to son in the beautiful melody and these words about having to go, and hopefully I'll be back. I mean, it's just an eternal connection then, I think, at that point, But it's interesting, though, because, like, why does Happy Birthday not... Right?
Exactly.
Like if my dad had been singing Happy Birthday to me every night, would I have wound up being a pretty happy guy?
Maybe. But I also think that some of us are just born with a certain wiring. And I think that you and I have, it's one of the reasons that we're so close.
Yeah.
I've also noticed that with, there are a lot of people I've met who, if I ask them this direct question, I'll say, can you remember hearing a piece of music, no words, not a song, just a piece of music, either in a film or a classical piece or just something that made you literally well up and or cry? And I've had a number of people say, no, I've never had that.
Really?
I know, but I've seen movies that made me cry, or I've heard songs that made me cry.
Right.
So I think that there's a certain wiring. And I remember when I was a little kid, there were just certain pieces of music or chord changes that did things to me inside of me that I didn't understand.
Right. Oh yeah.
That would literally, the hair on my arms would stand up, and I would have this rush of emotion. Dave Grusin, the composer, has done it to me continually. John Barry did it to me continually, mostly film scores for me. But I think that because we're both wired in a way that we're very emotional people, and we're moved by beautiful things, that was also part of why we ended up writing the kind of songs that we wrote and had success with that.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think there's a rawness sort of intrinsically there for both of us and for many songwriters, many creatives probably, right? Where you're just keeping it together. You're just kind of, you're walking through your days, and I'll speak first person here. I walk through my days and I see things that just make me sad. Like I'll see a flower on the concrete, and all of a sudden it's like that's a metaphor of death, and you see it right there. It's beautiful now, and tomorrow it's going to be withered up and sunburnt and dry, and like there's a rawness there. And I as much as I would love to probably be a little bit better put together, I also realize like there's a beauty to seeing these things and having them resonate, having them register.
Yeah.
And then, and it's not just for the songs. It's like you feel like you're seeing, you're feeling things,
Yeah. Well, the way you're describing that is making me think about our friendship and how, somebody who maybe just caught the last 90 seconds of that would probably think, wow, these guys are a barrel of laughs to hang out with.
Oh yeah, you don't want to hang out with us.
But the truth is, what's so wonderful about this friendship is when we're excited about something.
Oh yeah.
When you're excited about something, which usually I'm going to be excited about it too.
Yeah.
If we're, if there's a movie that we've seen that we both thought was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Or if there's a song that somebody does that we play it for each other, or we, my car or your car, or these things that make us really like excited. What I love is that with you, I have felt no hesitation to
both work.
Be like, this is fucking awesome.
Right.
Like childlike almost.
Yeah.
Like we can be that way.
Well, okay.
And we've also had many, many times where we get into the real nitty gritty of stuff and we both are crying.
Yes.
I think that's a rare friendship between two men. I do.
I have felt free to cry in your presence, and I will continue to, and I love that I can be.
I'll give you something to cry about.
I just love that I can just always be myself with you.
Yes.
Like for real.
I totally am with you.
I'm not interested in faking anything with you. And but being excitable is absolutely one of the most important things about living.
Yeah.
There is no question about it. Like, sure, things can make me sad, but things also get me excited.
Yeah.
Things get me fired up.
Right.
And maybe that is part of that thing. Maybe I'm a little less like steady, you know what I mean? And I have some lows, but then I've also got these ups.
Yeah.
I get these moments where I'm like, no way, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm not interested in hiding how I feel or where I am, and the people in my life who are that's a safe with whom that is a safe place. Like it's like I'm grateful that I have people like that I can just be myself.
Yeah. Speaking of people, can we talk about Neil?
Yeah.
So people wouldn't necessarily know that you were really, really close with Neil Peart. And you held his secret when he was ill for a long time, which was honorable and what I would expect of you. So he confided in you that he was sick quite a while before he passed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about how, because that's a really interesting version of manifestation too, because you were such a fan of Rush and his. Tell me about how you guys met, how you ended up becoming friends, how you did your friendship turn into you guys writing together, or did the writing together turn into the friendship?
The friendship turned into writing together.
Okay.
Rush is my favorite band. You know, they are probably, if I had to distill it down to like, is there one musical sort of influence that sort of put me on my journey or gave me the confidence, or not even the confidence, just the ability to chase the dream, it was Rush. And so the way I met Neil, it's the most bizarre thing. And I guess it just is manifesting in a way, right?
Probably.
I don't know. But I had met Alex and I had met Getty, and they had been very, very kind to me. Alex, in particular, early on was super encouraging.
How did you meet them? Just in passing?
So David Bendith, who was our A&R rep at RCA, Canadian guy, and knew those guys. They were sort of in the Toronto circle together on some level, and so David facilitated an intro for me with Alex, and he just was so gracious and so cool. And so I would go see them and say hello at shows. Neil was obviously very much kind of more reclusive. He wasn't interested in that spotlight.
Yeah.
He liked doing the job and playing with the band, but lots of meet and greet type things just weren't his thing,
right.
socially speaking. So, but he was selling a car, and and my friend he was trading a car to a friend of mine who had this dealership in Texas, and and my friend in Texas needed pictures of Neil's car. So I'm just trying to think of how to really, so I went over to Neil's house to take pictures of Neil's car to send to my friend back in Texas. And as I was trying to think of what to say, my hands are sweating. It's, oh my gosh, this is Neil Peart. Like, what do you say to your favorite lyricist, your favorite drummer, like in your favorite band? Like, what do I do? And he sort of reached down to me as he was shaking my hand, and he said, "I'm a huge fan of your work."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And which was also like the most Neil Peart thing to do. Like, instantly take the disparity between us and eliminate it.
Yeah.
That's just so him.
Yeah.
Let's just be two guys looking at a pretty car.
Right.
And that's what happened. And I was wearing a watch that he had purchased a similar model for himself earlier on in his journey. He was wearing a watch that I thought was great. So we're talking about our watches. We're talking about this car, take the pictures, whatever. And then it was really kind of like, okay, see ya.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. But his wife, I know his wife, Carrie, had encouraged him because he was new to the LA area and like maybe didn't have like a large social group. I know she said, well, what about that guy? He seemed cool. He seemed nice. I mean, yeah, whatever. Eventually we went out to dinner, all of us, and we just became friends. I mean, he really became similar to you, like a big brother. And when I was a kid, I thought that as we grew up, it's like we start as one, and then we grow in our sort of the number of friends and loved ones in our lives. It's almost like an inverse pyramid. It's just gonna be more and more and more and more. I've got so many best friends and people who love me, and I love all these people, and it's just the best. And what I've realized is it's far more like this, right?
100%.
And so when someone comes into my life that is like that, the only word that comes to mind right now is beautiful. Like, he was so beautiful as a human being, as a friend, as a brother, as a mentor, as a loved one.
How did that friendship develop? Like, was it a, because you were friends how long before he died?
At
least 10, right? Or?
Yeah, no, longer, 20, 18 years, something like that, 15, 18 years, something like that.
Okay.
Because it was around the same time, I met him around the same time that I met you.
Okay.
I believe.
So did your friendship progress in terms of like large blocks of time, or was it just sort of like?
Yeah, no, it wasn't large blocks of time. It was like, hey, come over. He had an office. He had a garage where he kept his cars and he did his writing. And he would just, he called it the cave. He'd come down to the cave and let's hang out. And so we would go and we'd have lunch or something. And it was a lot of email correspondence, some phone calls, although he was less of a phone call guy.
Mm-hmm. How did the writing?
Well, the writing thing was kind of interesting. So obviously, in the same way that I would have dreamt of writing with you, but was scared to do it, I dreamt of writing with Neil. I was scared to do it. And he had written, his books are amazing. The books he wrote are really incredible. And he was coming out with a new one, and he was putting a poem in the sort of forward of the book. And he said, hey, can you take a look at this? Tell me what you think. And it was this poem, and it was beautiful, of course. As I read it down, there was a line that I thought, maybe he might be able to do that one. I mean, it's great. I couldn't do what he just did. But there's one line that maybe, because he's so good, maybe he could beat it, Maybe he could, maybe. And he asked me what I thought of the poem. And I knew that this was the moment. This was it. This is the moment where I'm either just a sycophant fan of this guy, or I'm this guy's friend. And I've got my 10,000 hours, whatever, in this craft. And so if nothing else, I know that I can trust my instincts that there's probably something worth talking about, at least here in this one little instance. So he asked me what I thought. I remember he was cooking dinner because he was a hell of a cook. And we were in his kitchen. I was sitting down at the island, and he had made a key lime pie. His key lime pies were, I just got chills. They were to die for, like the most perfect, just the best thing ever, right? So there was a key lime pie just sitting there to my left, lyric sheet right in front of me. And he asked me what I thought, and I said, it's amazing, Neil. It's beautiful. I think it's so great. and there's this one line, and you and I have talked about this and used this phrase a lot. I think it's a really important and good phrase to use. I think there's one line here that you could beat. Mm-hmm. I think you can beat this. And so I would just encourage you to maybe like have a think on like, could I maybe top this one line? Other than that, no notes. Fantastic. It's great. I love it. And he heard me, and about 15 minutes later, he said, you and I should write a song together.
Wow.
It was that close in time. Like we went.
It clicked for him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to voice this now."
At the very least, he knew that I would tell him what I thought.
Yeah.
So we wrote a song together called Even Now on a record we did called Burning the Days. And it was a really interesting experience because it was unlike any other collaborative songwriting I've ever done. You and I sit down in a room, maybe you have a title, I've got a line for a chorus or something.
We've always got something started.
There's something that we can try, but we don't always go with what we start with, right?
Right.
But we're starting more or less from scratch with maybe an idea or something, right? So Neil says, I've got some lyrics I think might be really good for your voice, and can we get together and write it? And I was like, of course, yeah, great. So he comes over to the studio and hands me a piece of paper that is, the heaviest stock. You know what I mean? Like what the Declaration of Independence was written on, right? Yeah. The Magna Carta, and borders, fonts, different fonts. Like, I mean, it is done.
Yeah.
These lyrics are done.
It's already a numbered lithograph.
Oh yeah, signed at the bottom, 1 of 100. And so he hands me this sheet paper, and I'm reading down these lyrics, and they're amazing. Thank God.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had hardly any suggestions or thoughts. But the interesting thing, as I was reading these beautiful, the concept of the song is even now, after all this time, you still think of me and you still miss me. I guess we're even now. That's
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you
so good.
Kidding me?
Good. I love that song.
And so as I'm reading it down, I get totally inspired, and I just pick up my guitar and I start playing chords and singing the melody and singing the song. And I'm recording this.
And this doesn't ever happen with you or me.
No.
Where we write the music first.
We write the music.
Almost always.
Yeah, we write the music first. And then there's almost an inevitable assembly a process of assembly that and it's building up and tearing down, building up and tearing down.
But more importantly, it's that the music inspires the lyric.
Right.
Where in this case, the lyric made you go, oh, I hear it now, which is really rare for both of us.
And the whole thing, I played it down.
Wow.
And it was done.
Wow.
The only thing that happened is that there's a bit at the end where the lyric is all that summer in the moonlight, you were dreaming, I was believing. Those are the lyrics that he wound up coming up with. But as I sang it down, there was this extra part. Ba, 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 ba. I started singing that, and when we listened back to it, he said, "Was this a piece that you had?" And I said, "No, I have no idea what this was. It just came." And I said, "Could you possibly maybe write some lyrics for that thing at the very end?" Of course he did. Yeah. And then we were done. Wow. Yeah.
First one.
Yeah, well, that's really the only song that we ever wrote together.
That's right. He played
on 2 records and I think 5 songs on 2 records, which was, I mean.
And you showed me the some video and stuff that you took in the studio of him.
Yeah. one thing that always kind of amazes me that you wouldn't necessarily think when you listen to Rush music, because they're so technically adept. These guys are the best musicians, you know, on the planet, and they're very because they're so adept. They flow in between different moods and time signatures and key changes, style, you know, everything just it's all seems fairly effortless, right? But I didn't realize how much Neil plays for the singer until I was singing and he was like the locomotive, like steam train from hell, like bringing us like to the next place.
The best drummers ever do that. The best drummers in bands are the guys who, they can play anything, but their instinct is to play to the lyric, to the singer.
Yes.
But in Neil's case, that makes sense because he was such a brilliant lyricist on top
great
of being
lyricist,
a great
and he and Geddy, their sort of workflow was so kind of like, hey, we're going to try to build each other up, you know, and continue to lift our game up as high as we possibly can. But yeah, singing the track down with Neil Peart, you know, accenting those moments the way he did. Yeah, it was, and that's one of the hardest things about this.
Yeah.
Is when you found somebody who you feel like you're never letting go. Like I'm never letting you go.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm never going to let you go ever.
Okay.
And I never, ever, ever would have let Neil go. And I've had to, you know.
But only in the physical.
That's not much consolation.
I get it. I get it.
I know that, I know how grateful I am for the moments we shared. But I'll never be okay with it.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he, he had tremendous, what'd you say?
I said, we're a barrel of laughs here today.
Do you feel, one more question about Neil, because he's a guy, for those of you who don't know Neil Peart's personal story, aside from the band, is a guy who suffered unimaginable tragedy in his life.
Yeah.
When he passed, he was how old? 70 something?
67.
Yeah, 67. I was going to say 66. Yeah, 67. Thank you.
Okay,
Jamieson.
so given that he was still young, did you have a sense from him that he was sort of like life well lived, even though it's shorter, or was he like, oh fuck, I'm getting ripped off?
I mean, yes is the only answer to that. You know, I think, and who the hell am I to say? We did talk about a lot of things.
I'm curious because someone who's had such a particular relationship with death in their life,
yes,
as he did, I wonder how the resignation of your own demise is informed by such tragedies.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't speak to it.
No, but I do know that he, so he famously originally rode his bicycle from, the tour bus would drop him off 50 miles away from the gig, and then he'd ride his bicycle to the gig.
Right.
And then as he got a little older, he started riding his motorcycle, and he would do 400-mile, 300-mile motorcycle ride on the back roads, for 6 hours before they got to sound check. And I do know, as this was happening to him, he did sometimes joke around like, I made it. Because I think he was concerned, rightly so, for his safety on the motorcycle. Spending so much time on the bike.
Sure.
Sort of put him at risk for an accident.
Sure.
And I remember when he was sort of literally, he hung up his motorcycle in the cave. And I remember him saying something along the lines of like, I did it. You know,
that didn't get me.
That didn't get me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I don't know. I just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've both suffered losses like that I don't think it's worthwhile to try to get over.
No.
Like, why?
Well,
You know?
no.
But you can also be like just this kind of conversation about him. I hope that people have conversations about me when I'm gone like that.
Mm. Yeah.
I would hope. That would make me feel like it was a life well lived.
Well, also to be grateful again, like to come back to gratitude. Like, I'm so glad to have known this beautiful human being.
Yeah.
And to, I felt this way with other people and, animals in my life. Like, they're going to be here for a certain number of days. And how beautiful that I get to share some of those days with them,
Mm-hmm.
And so I will always be thankful for those beautiful moments. And I'll be thankful for the challenging times too, when I called him and he showed up for me and,
I still remember where we were in a car going and you said,
yeah,
I've been keeping a secret for someone. I've been holding a confidence and now I need to unburden myself because I need my brother to like help me.
Yeah, because it was all
coming down.
It was all coming down, and I knew that I needed people to lean on because I had been kind of
you've been
steadfast. I mean, look, it's one of the absolute proudest it's one of the proudest achievements for me in my life, honestly.
Yeah.
Like being there for this guy and not letting him down. I did not let him down.
I love that.
And I cherish that. I will be eternally proud of that.
Yeah, good for you.
But there did come a time when it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to fall apart. I'm like,
you were in.
I'm going to start falling apart and I need to, there are people I need to help me stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was very proud to be one of those people.
Absolutely amazing.
When you talk about this, as we get older, one of my favorite questions to ask people lately is, tell me, you're 55.
55.
Right? Tell me a belief or philosophy that you held close and dear in your 20s or 30s that you have completely abandoned or reversed.
It's interesting to me. You'll be the judges to whether or not it's interesting. But I used to think I had a lot of answers, about how to live a life, how to be a good man, how to be a good friend. I was kind of sure of an awful lot of things. And that certainty about almost everything has kind of left me. And I kind of feel like I'm not in a bad way, but kind of almost eternally in flux. Where it's like, okay, what am I going to learn today? What that thing that I thought would never happen, well, that's probably going to happen today. Those things that I thought would always be there are probably going to be gone. And you've really, I got to say, like, you've really helped me because I have, by nature, I think a glass is half empty mentality. Like, you've really helped me try to look at it from a slightly different perspective, I feel like a lot of those, I'm not going to remember who it was that said this. It came from like someone like Socrates.
I was going to say Pauly Shore.
But then...
Not Pauly Shore?
But then I think Brian Regan, I was listening to him on a podcast, and he said, one of the most important sort of fundamental tenets of my life right now is if I have a strong opinion about something, I'm going to hold it loosely.
Yeah. Ooh, it's so good.
Change my mind.
Yeah.
Please change my mind. I will be open to having my mind changed. I may believe what I believe, and I won't be afraid to tell you what I believe, but I also won't be afraid to think differently when you and I are done talking.
Yeah, that's so rare though. That's kind of the fucking clusterfuck that we're in.
Well,
Is that people have developed a fear of changing your mind as if it's weakness.
it is maddening.
It's it's full of strength.
Yeah, right.
It's full of bravery to change your mind about something that even an opinion you've held for so long. I fucking love to have my mind changed.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, because I know that my mind's not like all that well put together a lot of times.
You know?
So like the ground that I'm standing on is by nature shifting.
Yeah.
And so I do want to be less opinionated. I want to be less,
Judgmental.
Yes, I want to be less judgmental.
So easy though. And we have so much fun doing it.
I mean, there are certain things that must be judged. Let's be honest.
I mean, that's going to really reduce a lot of our conversations over coffee.
It really will. But okay.
No, but I love that because at the heart of it, even when you and I go on our rants, because we got
a rant,
and that's what like you and I meet up for vent sessions.
It's a vent session,
and it's because we know it's a safe space.
So safe.
But I think it's healthy. I think it's also, and I think that you and I have had examples, even in the last year, we've gotten together and we have helped change each other's minds or offered it to I didn't really think about it like that.
Totally. And I'm not necessarily psyched when it's happening. You know what I mean?
You go kicking and screaming.
A little bit. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Shit.
But that's important. And I think now, in my mid 50s now, I think if there is some wisdom that's coming with age, some of that wisdom is, man, one thing I know for sure is I don't have all the answers,
Right.
And so that younger version of myself, which was maybe a little bit more sure, even though every other lyric that I used to write was, I don't know.
Yeah.
Every single lyric on everything you want is like, I don't know this, I don't know, I don't know. But so awesome. But I do think that I thought I kind of knew. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. That's the other thing about all this stuff is it's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to say that you don't have the answer. In fact, please tell me you don't have the answer.
Right. Don't
lie to me.
Yeah, don't bullshit me.
If you don't have the answer, just say it. And let's try and find it together.
Yeah. Well said. Okay. So you've seen these episodes. So I end every episode with a gift of vinyl.
Yes.
So this was so easy for me.
Really?
Yeah. I only hesitated. There was one thing I had in mind, and I thought, no. I know what I need to do. So, because of our closeness and because of who you are in my life, I have two favorite albums of all time. One of which is So by Peter Gabriel. I can't imagine you don't have multiple versions of that because we have geeked out over that record and Peter in general.
Yeah.
So many conversations you and I have had about it where we listened to it in the car together. We've sat in front of speakers at my studio and dissected Mercy Street and but the other favorite album of mine of all time, I'm as sure as I can be, you don't own.
I don't doubt this.
Earth, Wind & Fire, I Am. This is my copy.
Stop it.
Of I Am by Earth, Wind & Fire. You have to own this, and it has to be a gift from me.
Oh my God.
Now, I know it's not what you're going to be like, we're going to crank Earth, Wind & Fire. But when you go through this, especially if we do it together, you are going to look at me and go, oh my God.
But here's where it does get a bit weird.
Go.
I bought this for myself when I was younger, and I've lost it and it's gone. and I don't have it anymore.
Holy shit.
And so I know this record, and so because it's been a long time, but I'm looking at the track listing, and this was the record.
I mean, that's the one.
So the fact, like,
I mean, they've made great records, but that's the one. That's the masterpiece.
That's
Sgt. Pepper.
This was the record.
That's Sgt. Pepper. That's the
Pepper.
R&B Sgt. Pepper.
So I owned this at one point.
I had no idea.
And now the fact I can't believe, like, the fact that you would give me this. Like, this is the weirdest, most wonderful thing.
I love it.
Because it's so great.
It's so great.
And it's been so long since I've listened to it. Probably, I mean, what is this? What year is this? 79. So, I mean, I probably bought it in 83 or 84 after I bought Billy Joel Glass Houses, Def Leppard Pyromania, maybe Rush Moving Pictures, and then maybe this was the fourth one.
Do you still have Glass Houses?
Yeah.
So you still have those records and stuff, yeah.
But I don't know.
You and I have geeked out over All for Lena so many times, right? Yeah. Billy Joel.
So because I am familiar with the show, I knew that there was going to be, and I was excited to find out what it might be. But this blows my mind.
Good. This mission accomplished.
Blows my mind.
Mission accomplished.
And I know how much this record means to you because of how much these guys mean to you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you would give me your copy.
Well, it just was like, I have to give him I Am because it's my other favorite album.
Wow.
And it's Matt.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you.
This was so fun.
Oh, thank you for having me on your show.
Dude, it's about time.
It's about time.
I think he has to be a recurring guest.
Yeah. I want to be a recurring guest. I also need you to know that I wasn't ready until today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't ready.
Okay. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Like the co-writing thing?
I had to get ready to, get my guest chops up.
Well, you've done very few interviews in your life.
But I've been working. Like, when you texted me, I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, okay. Is it going to be lighthearted? Is it going to be deep? Is it going to be... It was everything. It was all the things.
It was all the things.
As we are.
Man, this is great.
I love you, Matt.
I love you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for
making this
a great hang.
Fantastic beverage.
It was delicious, right?
Yeah.